So as you guys know that tomorrow is CAT 2018, right? So what were your thoughts at this point last year? What did you exactly feel?
Well, I think same time last year on the day of the exam on D-Day, surprisingly I was not so nervous. I remember it was a morning session, uh, and I remember reaching the center way ahead of time. I had my breakfast, calmed my nerves, and whatever little nervousness was there, it kind of vanished as soon as I entered the examination center. And after that, I think it went pretty well.
I think contrary to what he's saying, my nervousness was at a very high level uh, before the exam and days before the exam. I could not sleep through the night before the exam. I could not have my meals properly. There was a lot of tension going on because this was supposedly my last attempt and I wanted to do well. So that was there. But then when I entered the examination hall, uh, I was just fine. I was not nervous at all. I think that those little motivation sessions from your teachers and parents, they worked well for me at that point in time.
And like you said, like I was also very much nervous, like for three reasons. I quit my job, then I was attempting CAT for the first time, then I kept my expectations very high, 99 plus. So with those three things in mind, I was under immense pressure the day before exam and on the D-Day also. But once we reach the center, like everything will be totally fine. You will see so many people like you around. Then the cat is not as threatening as you would expect.
So did you guys like have a strategy on how to approach the questions? Like will you share something on that aspect?
Okay, I'll start with that. Like first one is verbal. So I was particularly weak at verbal section, and but in the end, in the final CAT exam, I actually did pretty well. So what I would say is stick with the strategy that you've been following throughout your mock test. Like people tend to change their strategy once they get the final CAT paper. Don't do that mistake. Then there is theta questions, which has no negative. Doesn't mean that you have to attempt all the questions. It is actually time consuming. So uh, stick with your strategy, what you have been following, and the way you attempt the passages. Stick with whatever you have been preparing. That's it.
For LR and DI section, I would say I was relatively good at that section. So what I would say is that choose your sets wisely because there are hidden sets that are good. There are some sets that are very difficult. So in case you get stuck with a difficult set, you will lose track of time. So just spend the initial maybe 7 to 8 minutes or 10 minutes around on analyzing the sets, that which one will you attempt, and then probably go ahead with it. And one thing I would say would be just for the theta questions in this section particularly, just try your luck. You might just get 1 or 2 marks in a fluke. So yeah.
Coming to the quant section with the last section, my strategy always in the quant section was that I would take the first couple of minutes to navigate through the section. I would navigate briefly question by question and then try to gauge how the section is, and then try to identify the questions that I knew, and then I would start with a burst and then go from question to question and attempt the entire section. What I would certainly say in the quant section is that don't dwell on a question for too much, and the reason I say that is because sometimes what happens is because you've prepared so much, you feel that you need to get this question right, and you end up losing time. You end up spending 5 to 6 minutes on a single question. So don't dwell on a question too long. Uh, Skip it and move on to the next question, which you might know. So that would be that was my strategy, and you can probably try that out as well.
So what would be your last minute tips to the 2018 CAD aspirants listening to you? Any last minute advice per se?
One thing that I would like to suggest would be that please don't carry the stress from one section to another. This is what we generally tend to do because if one section say LR or DI, that is the trend that it has been tough for the past few years. So from there, when we move on to the quant section, we tend to be a little nervous per se that okay, this section didn't go as per my expectation. So you carry on that stress to the quant section. Please don't do that.
Okay, I would say it's good to have expectations first of all, but keeping a very high expectations like say 99, 95, 90, and then attempting the paper, it will be tough, I would say. Like, it's good to have expectations, but don't take it as a do or die situation. You have so many process after this CAT, so even if you get 1 or 2% lower, that's totally fine.
What I would say is just stay calm, stay relaxed. I understand that since so many months of preparation has gone into this, you're bound to feel nervous, which is totally fine. Because I've heard people say that they went into the exam and they had a blackout. So try to avoid that. Stay relaxed, and I am pretty sure it'll all go well, given that you have put in the right amount of preparation. And best of luck for your CAT tomorrow.